The first thing Olivia noticed about the woman standing at the end of the glass conference room was the laugh. Sharp, controlled. The kind of laugh that made everybody else in the room laugh half a second later, even when the joke wasn't funny. And the second Olivia heard it, something cold slid straight down her spine. No. Her stomach tightened instantly. No way. 12 years disappeared in less than a heartbeat. Suddenly, she wasn't 28 years old, standing inside one of the most expensive office buildings in downtown Chicago, wearing a navy blazer she bought on clearance because she couldn't afford the full-price version. Suddenly, she was 16 again, sitting alone in a crowded high school cafeteria, while strawberry yogurt dripped down the front of her gray hoodie because somebody had slammed into her tray hard enough to knock everything into her lap. And then came that laugh. Same laugh. Same sharpness. Same cruel amusement hiding under fake surprise. Oh my God, Olivia, are you seriously crying over yogurt? The entire cafeteria laughed back then. Olivia remembered every second of it. The smell of bleach from the lunch tables, the wet, cold feeling soaking through her clothes, the way nobody looked uncomfortable enough to stop it, the way she sat frozen because reacting only made Madison worse. And now, 12 years later, that same girl stood at the head of a corporate conference table, wearing a black designer suit and smiling at executives like she'd been born owning rooms. Madison Cole. Olivia physically stopped walking for half a second. Her brain genuinely considered turning around, getting back in the elevator, and leaving before anyone noticed. But then Madison looked up. Their eyes met across the conference room. Polite recognition flashed across Madison's face first, then confusion, then something else, something quieter, more dangerous. Oh no, she remembers me. Olivia felt it instantly. Not vague recognition, not "you look familiar." Madison remembered everything. The room buzzed with low conversation around them, while rain tapped softly against the giant windows overlooking the city. Somebody near the projector kept talking about quarterly branding strategy, but Olivia couldn't hear a word anymore. Her pulse was too loud. Madison stood slowly from her chair. "You must be Olivia Bennett." Her voice sounded calmer than Olivia expected. Lower, polished now, corporate. But underneath it, Olivia still heard the girl who once printed fake pregnancy rumors about another sophomore just because she was bored during chemistry class. Welcome to Cole and Vale. Olivia forced herself to move again. Nice to meet you. Massive lie. Madison extended her hand. Olivia hesitated. Tiny pause, barely noticeable. But Madison noticed it. Of course she did. Madison noticed weakness like sharks noticed blood. Olivia shook her hand anyway. Madison's grip tightened slightly longer than necessary. I didn't realize you were joining my department. My department. Olivia's chest tightened harder. I didn't realize you worked here. Senior creative director. Of course she was. Of course the girl who manipulated entire social circles at 16 grew up into a woman who professionally controlled people for a living. One of the executives nearby smiled awkwardly. Wait, you two know each other? Madison looked at Olivia first before answering. Tiny power move. We went to high school together. The room immediately reacted. No way. Seriously? That's insane. Olivia wanted the floor to split open under her feet. Madison leaned casually against the table. It's been a long time. Another lie. Madison saw Olivia once after graduation, at her mother's funeral. Olivia never forgot it because Madison didn't come inside the church. She stayed across the street beside a black SUV wearing sunglasses, watching silently from a distance for almost 10 minutes before disappearing again. Olivia noticed because even back then, something about it felt wrong. Not mocking, not cruel, just strange. Like Madison had shown up for a reason she couldn't explain. A dark-haired guy beside the projector grinned. Okay, I need context now. Were you guys friends or enemies? Silence. Tiny, dangerous silence. Madison smiled without smiling. That depends who you ask. Olivia almost laughed from disbelief. Depends who you ask? Madison once locked her inside a locker room before prom because she found out Olivia was claustrophobic. She uploaded videos of Olivia crying during a panic attack. She read Olivia's private poetry notebook aloud in front of football players while imitating her voice. Enemies sounded too soft for what Madison was in high school. Madison specialized in humiliation. She knew exactly where people were weakest emotionally, and somehow always found ways to expose it publicly. Olivia still remembered sophomore year English class when Madison casually asked in front of everyone, "Does your dad still steal from grocery stores, or did he upgrade to banks?" Half the class laughed immediately. Olivia remembered gripping the edge of her desk so hard her fingernails bent backward. The rumor spread across school in less than 2 days. By Friday, somebody wrote "thief's daughter" across her gym locker in black marker. The worst part? Her father had actually been arrested, not for theft, for unpaid medical debt after Olivia's mother's surgery bankrupted them. But teenagers don't care about details once humiliation becomes entertaining. Olivia? Somebody in the room was talking to her again. She blinked hard. Sorry? The dark-haired guy smiled politely. I asked if you wanted coffee before we start. Oh, no thanks. Madison watched her carefully from across the table. Not cruelly, not kindly either, just intensely. Like she was trying to figure out whether Olivia survived becoming the person she helped destroy. The meeting finally started, but Olivia barely processed most of it. Marketing projections, brand restructuring, campaign analytics. Her brain kept drifting backward instead. Hallways, locker slams, whispered laughter behind her back. The horrible feeling of walking into school every morning, already emotionally exhausted before first period even started. Madison used to make eye contact with Olivia from across crowded rooms and smile slowly, like they shared a secret nobody else understood. That smile terrified her more than open cruelty ever did, because it meant Madison already thought of something new. Halfway through the presentation, Olivia realized her hands were shaking slightly under the table. She curled them into fists immediately. Get it together. Madison suddenly interrupted the presenter. Actually, I think Olivia might have insight on this. Olivia looked up sharply. Madison turned toward her smoothly. Your portfolio mentioned experience with emotional engagement metrics, right? The room immediately shifted attention toward Olivia. Trap. Tiny trap. Madison used to do this constantly in school, force attention onto people unexpectedly just to watch them panic. Olivia felt heat rise into her neck. But then something strange happened. She didn't freeze. Not this time. Yeah, Olivia answered calmly. Most brands underestimate how much emotional familiarity affects long-term audience loyalty. Madison's expression shifted almost invisibly. Surprise, maybe. Olivia continued before nerves could catch up. People engage more when content feels psychologically recognizable. Familiar emotional patterns create trust faster than polished branding does. Silence. Then the older executive near the windows nodded slowly. That's actually very smart. Another executive agreed immediately. The dark-haired guy looked impressed. Madison stayed completely still, watching her. Olivia recognized the look instantly because she'd seen it years ago, too. Madison hated being surprised. The meeting ended 20 minutes later. Executives filtered out gradually, discussing deadlines and campaign schedules, while Olivia shoved papers into her portfolio too fast. She just wanted out. Fast. But before she reached the conference room door, Madison spoke behind her. You changed your hair. Olivia stopped, slowly turned around. Madison stood alone near the giant windows now, while rain blurred Chicago behind her in streaks of gray. What? Madison shrugged lightly. It used to be longer. Olivia tightened her grip on the portfolio strap. People change. Sometimes. Silence stretched between them awkwardly. Not dramatic movie silence. Worse. Real silence. The kind where both people remember too much at once. Madison broke eye contact first. Another surprise. You still nervous around elevators? Olivia physically stopped breathing for a second. Sophomore retreat. Old hotel service elevator. Darkness. Screaming. Girls outside laughing while Olivia pounded against metal doors, crying so hard she threw up afterward. Madison uploaded clips online with the caption, "Possessed hamster energy." Olivia stared at her now in complete disbelief. You remember that? Madison's jaw tightened almost invisibly. Yeah. No apology, no soft guilt, just, yeah. Olivia laughed once, sharp. That's comforting. She pushed toward the door immediately. Then Madison said quietly behind her, You still use your mother's last name. Olivia froze, slowly turned back again. Madison looked different suddenly, less controlled. Something unsettled moved behind her eyes now. What? Olivia asked carefully. Madison hesitated, actually hesitated. I thought after the divorce you'd switch back eventually. Olivia's pulse quickened dangerously. Very few people from high school knew Olivia originally had a different last name before her mother changed it, and almost nobody remembered. How do you know about that? Madison instantly regretted the sentence. Olivia saw it happen in real time. Forget it. No. Olivia stepped closer now. Explain. Madison crossed her arms defensively. It's not important. Then why bring it up? Madison looked away toward the rain-streaked windows. Because your father used to work for mine. The room suddenly felt colder. What? Madison exhaled slowly. Your father worked for Cole Financial before everything happened. Olivia stared blankly. No, he didn't. Olivia. My dad worked construction. Madison stayed silent. Wrong answer. Olivia felt anxiety rising fast now. What are you talking about? Madison rubbed the bridge of her nose briefly. You really don't know. Not a question, a realization. Olivia's heartbeat started thudding painfully. Know what? Madison looked genuinely uncomfortable now. Not manipulative, not smug. Uncomfortable. That scared Olivia more. My father blamed yours for what happened, Madison said quietly. That's why he hated your family. Olivia frowned hard. Your family didn't even know mine. Madison laughed softly once, no humor in it. Olivia, your dad was my father's financial partner. Silence. Olivia blinked. No. He was. No. Madison looked at her carefully. Your father handled private investment accounts for my dad's company. Olivia physically stepped backward. That's impossible. Why? Madison asked quietly. Because your father lied to you or because mine did? The sentence landed like a punch to the throat. Olivia suddenly remembered random things from childhood that never fully made sense before. The expensive house they briefly lived in before everything collapsed. Her father constantly arguing on the phone behind closed doors. The sudden move, the financial disaster that seemed to happen overnight. Her mother crying quietly in the kitchen after midnight while bills covered the table. Olivia shook her head hard. No, Madison's voice lowered. After the money disappeared, both families imploded. Money disappeared. Same phrase again. Olivia's stomach turned violently. My father didn't steal anything. Madison went quiet, then softly, I know. Olivia stared at her. What? Madison looked away again immediately. I didn't in high school. I thought he ruined my father's life. So you bullied me because of something our parents did? Madison's face hardened instantly. I was 16 and angry. You tortured people for fun. Yeah. The honesty startled Olivia silent. Madison swallowed once. I know. No excuses. Somehow worse. Olivia's phone buzzed suddenly inside her coat pocket. The noise sliced through the tension. She pulled it out automatically. Unknown number. One text message. Madison knows who really destroyed your father. Olivia's blood turned cold instantly. Madison noticed the change in her expression. What? Olivia slowly lowered the phone. Did you send this? Madison frowned. Send what? Olivia held up the screen, carefully watching her face. Confusion first, then something darker. Fear, maybe. Actual fear. Madison stepped closer. Somebody contacted you? Olivia's pulse hammered harder. Answer the question. Madison ignored it completely. How many messages? What? Olivia. Her voice sharpened suddenly. How many? The shift in tone terrified Olivia because for the first time since entering this building, Madison sounded genuinely scared. Not manipulative, not controlling. Scared. Olivia backed toward the conference room door slowly. Why do you care? Madison ran a hand through her hair, hard enough to ruin the perfect corporate composure she'd maintained all morning. Because if somebody's reaching out now... She stopped herself. Olivia caught it instantly. Now what? Madison stared directly at her. My father died 3 weeks ago. Silence. Complete silence. Olivia blinked once. What? Heart attack. Madison's voice sounded strange suddenly, hollow. And the day after the funeral, somebody broke into his home office. Olivia's skin prickled instantly. Madison continued quietly. Nothing valuable was taken, just files. Olivia's stomach dropped. What files? Madison held her gaze too long before answering. Anything connected to your father. The room tilted sideways. Rain hammered harder against the windows now, thunder rumbling faintly above the city. Olivia realized with sudden, terrifying clarity that this wasn't just old high school trauma anymore. Something bigger lived underneath all of it. Something both families buried years ago. Madison looked exhausted suddenly. Human. Fragile in a way Olivia never imagined possible. Then Madison quietly said the one sentence Olivia never expected to hear from her. I think our fathers lied to both of us.